So we're going to do a little bit of a Would You Rather. So our first edition for our Would You Rather is going to be Devin Booker in the hot seat. Would you rather Devin Booker or Anthony Edwards?
Come on now. I mean, you got to put a lot of chips on Anthony Edwards. He's what he did with the Timberwolves this season was just downright dirty, especially taking down the defending champs and just in general. I mean, playing some good ball. I just think he brings energy. I think that's why you would put a lot of a lot of faith in him, and that's why I would probably construct a team and put him on it over Devin Booker.
I'm going Devin Booker. I think it's still a little bit too early. With Ant, I like how Devin Booker has been playing. He's been playing pretty good these past few seasons, and he has a little bit more playoff experience than Anthony Edwards. So for those reasons, I'm going to go with him.
I'm also going to go with Devin Booker. I think I want to say Ant, just because Ant's doing this and he's so young and he has that killer instinct. But Devin Booker is just, right now, much more consistent, much more refined in the NBA game. Better decision maker, I would say. Definitely not a better defender, but I mean, this man can flat out score the ball from anywhere. And I know Ant's getting there, but I don't think he's quite to Booker's level yet. I did like the development of Devin Booker's playmaking this year as well. That was really nice to see, playing the point guard role with the new roster. It's kind of hard to take Ant over Booker right now, because I think if you put Booker on Ant's team, might be a hot take. I feel like he would be just as successful.
That's kind of what I was about to say. I was going to say, like, with my pick of Anthony Edwards, I'm not unaware that a big part of his success is the people, like his supporting cast and that Timberwolves team. I mean, they're, without them, Ant is not making it this far, in my personal opinion. Even though he is a big part of them making it there, he is not the only reason. And that being said, the reason why I pick Ant, I think, is because I think this in the very recent past is when we've seen Ant kind of step into more of that, like, number one spot on that team. I think where he's kind of he takes on a little bit more of the load as the superstar on that team, the guy who you give the rock to in big moments. And I think just with that, he's going to improve in his shooting percentages and just everything. I think overall he's just going to become a lot better of a player long term than Devin Booker.
I think a lot of people just forget how good Devin Booker is, and he's very slept on and hated. So that plays a big factor into that. And I think if you put him on the Timberwolves, I think he'd do good there too. It's just defensively, they'll be missing that a little bit with Anthony Edwards being the better defender. But another thing too is Devin Booker is entering his prime right now. He's 27 years old only. It feels like he's been in the league for 14 years, but he's only 27.
I don't think Devin Booker would be able to lead that team to the same area that Anthony Edwards has led them to this year. But go ahead, Kevin.
I think he definitely could, because Devin Booker has led a team farther. He's led a team to the NBA Finals. And I think the Timberwolves would be better with Devin Booker, because while they do give up a little bit of defense, they get a lot better offense. They get a lot consistent scorer. They get a better shooter. They get a better mid-range shooter. And they get a way better playmaker. So I think they would be better with Devin Booker as opposed to Anthony Edwards. I'm a little conflicted picking Anthony Edwards over Devin Booker in this scenario, just because I like Ant's defense, especially like kind of recency bias to what he's doing right now. I'm still gonna go with Devin Booker on this. Would you rather Devin Booker or Jaylen Brown?
Pains me. It really does. It's so painful, but I have no choice but to take Devin Booker. I have been a Jaylen Brown is the best shooting guard in the league stan for years now, but it's just not true. It's hard to keep that mask on, because I don't really believe it. Especially this season, just like watching so much Celtics basketball. Jaylen Brown is a horrible decision maker. When it comes down to it, his worst quality is his decision making, and it really hurts the Celtics at times. There's always costly turnovers. There's always horrible shot selection. There's always like messing up plays, bad fouls. Like it's really kind of upsetting for a guy that smart to have an IQ in basketball that low. But Devin Booker just doesn't have those problems, and I think Devin Booker's a better scorer. I think Jaylen Brown is a way better defender, but it's I want to say Booker, but we haven't seen what Jaylen Brown could do on his own team before, and I think it's close because the fact that he's putting up those types of numbers as a second option, I think is very impressive. And it could easily be 30 on the Portland Trailblazers, but we would never know. So I'm going to go Booker now for the simple fact that we haven't seen what Jaylen can do alone, but I'll go Devin Booker.
As Kevin recently stated before we started this segment, this is a who would you rather instead of who do you think is better. And when it comes to this matchup, I am going to go with Jaylen Brown. In the rare occasions
And does
that
not
I
like
have,
Booker.
I don't like Booker. When it comes to watching the Celtics play, I've been saying this for months, and I feel like you could make a montage of all the times I've said this on the podcast. When I watch the Celtics play, the real dark horse, like superstar, the real person on that team that you go to in big moments, the guy that is kind of, if he leaves, that team falls apart at the core, is Jaylen Brown. I think he's such a big part of that Celtics team, and I think, like Miles said, we haven't seen him on his own team, but I think he would just be so good on his own team. I think he would be just incredibly dominant.
Here's the thing with Brown and Tatum. Jaylen Brown can do everything Tatum can do. Tatum just does it better. He's a better defender. He's a better scorer. He's a better passer. I hate to say they're like the same player because they're really not, but in the same way they kind of are. As far as this argument with me, I'm actually a fan. I'm more of a fan of Jaylen Brown's game than I am of Devin Booker's game. If I'm to be honest, I'm not the biggest Devin Booker fan. I don't like how hard he acts. I think he's a little soft. But this dude can freaking play. As much as it pains me to say, Devin Booker's a bucket. Watching Devin Booker play whenever I watch a game where Devin Booker's playing, I'm just like the whole time I'm just shaking my head, just going, damn. He's so freaking good. It makes me mad. I think I'm going to go with Devin Booker over Jaylen Brown. I feel like I would just want, if I was starting a team and it was down to these last two guys, I'm not trying to make it too deep, but I would probably give Devin Booker the edge over Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, I was going to go Devin Booker as well, man. I mean, I just feel like people forget how good he is and like how much of a great scorer he is and how he can lead a team before KD was there. And we haven't seen that yet with Jaylen Brown, but I do think Jaylen Brown could do that on his own. But I still like Devin Booker a little bit more. I like the defense on Jaylen Brown, but if I had to choose one over the other, and if it's going to be on a team that's going to try to make it far, I think I'm going to go with Devin Booker. If I needed to add like a little bit of like a second star to the team, I think I would go Jaylen Brown though.